Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 11th of May 2021 and the time now is 6:15 a.m. Well, today our topic is the selfish gene. So before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yep, so Eric, for this topic, yeah, certainly when I rewatched this video, I found something interesting.
Mm,
Yeah, okay, firstly, actually I also learned some basic knowledge about biology after watching this video because I have a lot of question marks in my mind, and so I did a lot of quick research. And then, okay, so now I have a rough idea, which firstly we have gene, and then the gene is covered by the cells in our body, and then the cells covered by our body. Yeah, so it's something like one cover another, and
mm,
then um, so the gene there are so many genes in our body, and I also did some research, found that there are 20,000 of cells, sorry, 20,000 of genes in one single cell. And then in our body, we have 37 trillion cells. Yeah, so
okay. Mm, yeah. Answer your question. Is gene same as the DNA or RNA?
it says that we can find uh, the genes in the 染色体, and then the DNA is something like the code, right, of the gene. I'm not very sure about this.
Mm, yeah. But actually, gene uh uh is something more profound than the DNA RNA. Mm. So
Mm.
DNA RNA can change. Mm, can change like not in short term, but
Oh.
you can think like DNA RNA we can change
Mm.
like in medium terms, but gene we can only change in the very 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 long terms. Maybe this medium terms is not a good example because this medium terms can be let's say a few hundred years or maybe a few thousand years. Okay, but genes, you want to change the gene is nearly impossible because it will like 10 million years or something like that.
Oh, I see.
And for example, uh, you can say like this: all the living things have the same gene, okay,
Mm.
but we have different DNA, RNA. For
Oh,
example,
you
like
mean even like human and animals, we also share the gene?
yes, yeah,
Oh,
we have the same gene.
I see.
Mm, yeah, and you can find that DNA, RNA, I think it's DNA, the DNA
Mm.
between human and also the white mice, okay,
Yeah.
white rat or white mice is just a very very uh minor difference. Yeah.
Mm.
So if we found that we can we can like interrupt the DNA or RNA
Yeah.
of the white mice and change the parts to become same as human.
Mm.
Yeah, because the rest of the part is exactly same as a human. So the white mice may evolve become human.
Wow.
Mm. So
Yep.
gene is something is more profound. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so I can also think like because the DNA between human and the mice is just having a little different. So it means that even a little difference, let's say 0.1% of difference in in the DNA can make another creatures.
Mm, mm,
Oh,
yeah.
yep. So yeah, so it is also amazing that in our body that we have so many cells and also the gene. Yep. And then so it
A,
seems
ge-
like yeah.
yeah, a gene only, if you want to say like gene only got one, is something that the gene, um, okay, it's something like the gene is the bond. The gene is the bond of DNA, RNA. So,
Mm,
uh, all the living things have, let's say, all the living things have one part, uh, which is similar inside the DNA, RNA. Let's say something like this,
mm,
but it is not that simple. Yeah, I just want to give you a simple example. So we can
mm,
say like that part, yeah, that part could could be the genes, mm. Or maybe actually the DNA and the gene is actually is throughout is throughout uh the whole part of DNA, RNA. Yeah, let's say
mm.
DNA, RNA. You let's say for example, let's say you have 10 parts. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have 10 parts. Each of them you split into 10 parts, and then each each part have very similar things. Yeah, so that could be gene. So the gene is like throughout the whole part of DNA, RNA. So
Mm,
you can't really like split the genes and attract the gene outside from the DNA, RNA.
mm.
So if you
Yeah.
want to say like this, uh, gene is something is like the uh, it's only one. Okay, it's something like the very deep thing. Okay, and only once, and all of us, all of the living thing in the planet, we have the same gene. Mm.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
we behave different. Yeah, we develop a different strategy. But actually, we also have the same goal. We want to survive.
Mm. Yep. Yep. All right. Yeah. Actually, also, I will talk about the something related to the survival. Yeah. Just now I said the gene is covered by cell and cell covered by body, and it seems like because our body we have different organ, and also uh, each organ is responsible to do different tasks. So yeah, the purpose behind this organ to keep functioning is I think is to keep the gene to survive, to continue their life. Yep, and then okay, and then um, yeah, and then one other interesting thing which I did some research is that I found that the life of human, uh, I mean the lifespan of human in average actually increased quite a lot. In 1841, the average lifespan of a human is 41 years old. This is 1841. And then 1960, which is around 60 years ago, the average lifespan is 52 years old. And today's the average of human lifespan is 72. Yeah, so we can see that actually our lifespan increase along the years, along the century or decades. Yep. So um yeah, and then um if we talk about gene, because uh the gene is I see it as the one of the very very small unit uh in our body, and then um because of gene, and then we have our body, and then it is a success that it create the body, and then the body help them to actually increase the lifespan from 41 years old to 72 years old. So um yeah, so for this one is actually prolong the life. Yep. And then it is also unsure, um, and difficult to say uh, whether in the future, in the long future, we have the ability to get human uh, immortal. Yeah, which means we will not die, and we will have our life uh, very very long, and we can keep uh, our body can keep something like reproduce everything. Yep. And then for right now, because human will die, and then we have a limited lifespan. So one of the way to make this gene to uh, uh, to exist in the world is through the reproduction. Yeah. So yeah, I have one thinking here. If let's say if we are immortal, that also means that we may not need reproduction again.
What do you mean, immortal?
Immortal means we will not die. We have
Oh,
unlimited
yeah,
lifespan.
okay, yeah, immortal. Okay.
Yeah, because of gene we have cells. Because of cells we have body. So because of the cells also we have the organ of our brain, and then our brain um, keep thinking of many developments in many many aspects, and uh, also we can see that our lifetime, our lifespan increase. So it seems like in turns the brain uh, helping the gene to live longer by doing uh, everywhere to invent something, or uh, to have a lot of advancement.
To say brain help gene to live longer is actually not a proper, not an appropriate expression. The
Okay.
most appropriate expression is actually the gene instruct, yeah, whether whether conscious or subconsciously,
Mm,
instruct the gene instruct the living things, yeah, the life, maybe your brain or
mm.
maybe your body, your subconscious, to work for them.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a, yeah. So
Uh,
I think you need to use the most appropriate term to explain something.
yeah, yeah. This is my elaboration problem. Uh, yeah. Just now, your elaboration is good and clear. This is what I want to say, because go to the smallest unit, the gene is actually protected by the cells, and the cells um, is protected by our body, and then so it's something like one another.
Yeah.
So
Uh, okay. The protection here is actually doesn't matter because gene is not something physical like our molecules, like our cell. It's not something. It's not something like physical. It's actually uh, is okay. The gene is
mm,
something like an idea. Okay, we don't know the gene. We don't know whether gene exists or not.
Oh, really?
Mm, yeah, but we give we give it a name. We give it a name which is that there's some this is something that have the law. This is something like the law of life. Yeah, because life we need to survive, and then all the animal, all the plant, all the living things, including human,
Yeah.
yeah, all the species, uh, uh have have the same, have the similar pursuing, which is they need to survive. Mm, yeah, so that
Mm.
uh we give it a name. Yeah, we give it a name, which is called gene. So if let's say if human uh uh, if all human die in 10 years time, and then there's no human and in this planet anymore, then would genes still exist? Yes, of course. As long as there or there is a living things that can allow genes to make the reproduction, or yeah, or do all sort of things like that.
Oh, I see.
Mm. So this is the reason why I tell you gene is more profound than the DNA. Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is not like uh yeah because this is not like human have one gene and rabbit have one rabbit have one gene, and also like elephant have one gene. It's not like that.
Mm.
Gene exists uh as one. Gene exists as one in this planet. Yeah, yeah, they are inside the the life. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
So
seems like really gene is much more complicated than I
not
expected.
not complicated. It's very easy, but it is more profound. 很深. Yeah. It's more deep. Yeah. This is something like the most fundamental level. Yeah. Can you imagine, for example, if you want if you want to give the category, if you want to uh give them a layer, for example, like the food
Mm.
chain. Yeah, you have like the plant. The plant is the most fundamental change, right? And we
Yeah.
also got uh some some other like the zebra or rabbit. All those animals eat the plant, and then we also have some other animal who eat this animal. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we also have like the human. Mm, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that uh yeah, human is on the top of the food chain. Mm, but what is the most important one? The plant is the most important one, right?
Mm. Yep.
So you can think like this. The most fundamental level is a gene. Yeah, and then we have DNA or and also the RNA, and then uh yeah, and then after that, because DNA and RNA can develop a different species. Yeah,
Mm.
different living thing, different animal, just because of the sequence of DNA or the DNA difference, it will create a new species or create a new living things. Okay.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So uh yeah, human die uh is nothing serious, or uh is actually unimportant to the gene. Yeah, because this is just because yeah, human is no longer suitable for the planet. Is no
Mm. Yep.
longer able to adapt this environment, these changes. But they they'll still have some other animals or plants or living things can adapt, can suit this environment. So the gene will still exist.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but if you want to talk about, so here is actually you need to make you need to name the term properly. Yeah. So for
Yeah.
example, some people will say, the human gene. Yeah, the human gene. Yeah. So if you want to say the human gene is actually, you are not talking about the gene of life. You're actually talking about the humanity. Yeah.
Yep.
So it depends. It depends what situation you talk the term gene. Yeah. So because in this you're talking about this book, you're talking about biology. So you have to give them a proper and appropriate definition. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could.
This is not that difficult. Yeah. I don't have any knowledge in biology. It's just through the self-learning, and I also didn't put a lot of time. I also didn't spend a lot of time to understand this.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Just now also saying that uh, if human die and let's say become extinct in the world, uh, disappeared totally, and it is nothing to the gene. But it seems like now in the world, human is dominant, right?
Mm,
Yeah. Of course, we have many other things in the world, but it seems like human is dominant, and then we have the potential to carry uh, the gene to as a way to make them continue exist in the world.
no, you don't have. Yeah.
Oh.
There's two reasons because the first is actually okay. The first is the nature of gene, and then the second is actually uh what's it called, the 意识. Yeah, the
Oh,
connection.
shit.
Okay. There are two reasons. Okay, the first is the nature of gene,
Okay.
and gene is not like they rely on you, and you also don't have any you also don't have any responsibility for it, but they will like this is something like the coding. Yeah, coding setting in the coding set into your DNA.
Yeah.
You add like this. Okay. But uh just for example, okay, I give you two examples. For example, some men they like to give birth to child. Yeah,
Yeah.
they like to have sex with a lot of women, a lot of girls.
Yeah.
Okay, and but they don't want to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there is there any uh problem? So is like the gene govern them to do that, or maybe uh do uh do the men have the responsibility to take care of the child? I mean,
Um.
you inherently want to take care of the child, uh want to let the genes exist. Yeah, it doesn't mean that because the gene just care about the reproduction.
Yeah.
Mm,
Right.
yeah. So whether adapt or not, it depends on you. Yeah. So the gene just do one thing, reproduction. This is something I try to simplify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
that is not so easy. So they just do, let's say the gene just do one thing. They just ask you to survive, and then they ask you to reproduction. Yeah, to reproduce. Okay, to do the reproduction, and then it asks all the animal, all the plant, all the human do the same thing. Okay. So does it mean that, for example, your boss asks all the staff do the thing?
Yeah.
The staff necessarily have responsibility for the company, for the boss. It doesn't mean that.
Yeah. Right.
And also another example is the dinosaur. The dinosaur is the dominant in the middle era. I don't know I don't know the name of the era. Yeah. So yeah, dinosaur exists in some era, some
Yeah.
age, and then they are the dominant species animal. But they died. Yeah, because of like the I'm not sure
Changing environment.
I'm not sure it's yeah, but the changing environment is actually caused by like the 陨石坠落.
Yeah.
The small planet hit the Earth. Yeah, so
Yep.
because they are so big, they can't survive.
Yeah.
There are not enough food for them, so they can't survive. But who survive? Yeah, those animal, the size of them is very small. Yeah, they can survive.
Yeah.
And also some plant, some plant, they also can survive. Yeah, because they just need the sunlight. They just need like the oxygen, and like the nitrogen,
Yeah.
that, and also the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can survive. So yeah, this is the first reason we don't have the responsibility for the gene. And this is a free market. Yeah, don't like be like the give yourself so much confidence. Yeah, don't overconfidence about yourself and also about your species.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's a small planet hit the Earth, human is not the species, is not the animal that have the higher probability to survive in this Earth, in this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though you are dominant, but it doesn't mean that you can survive in long term.
Okay. So just now so the first point is you said human don't have the responsibility, and the second is what?
Okay. Yeah, this is the first one. This is the first point, the nature of gene. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't give the summary first. Okay, for the first reason,
Yeah.
gene just do one thing. Okay, and human don't have responsibility to do that. Just like other plants, other animal, they also don't have responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
They may fail to survive. Yeah,
Yep.
but gene don't care. Yeah, yeah. Just like your boss give a lot of staff work. Okay, and boss boss don't really care whether individual can can complete the work or not. If they cannot complete, just fire them, ask a new one. Yeah, okay, and also this is a free market. So that this is the first point. This is the first reason, the nature of gene. The second is actually the connection. For human, especially for human, maybe for some animals, okay, but especially for human, we have the connection. Yeah, so we can think. Yeah, we can uh we have the awareness. We can think and we can do something against the gene.
Yeah.
For example, gene asks us to keep to keep the reproduce. Yeah, to keep reproduce more and more child. But actually now we're facing the overpopulation, and we don't have a good solution to deal with that. But so what will we do? Yeah, we will keep the reproduction as low as possible.
Mm.
Yeah, but this actually is violate the genes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Go against the gene, right?
Yeah. So this is the connection. I think
Mm.
this point is also mentioned in the video and also in the book.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
called something like the meme or called something yeah, like other things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the main point is actually human is different from other animals and plants. We have the connection.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Um. All right. Actually, I think even though like uh the second point you mentioned, people have the connection to go against the uh let's say we call it the uh one of the main objective of the gene to survive, to keep to instruct people, to instruct human or living creatures to keep reproducing. But it seems like they actually create in a way that human will no matter what, human will try to make the life longer and or even immortal. Let's say if we are human, and then many of us will pursue happiness. We will pursue uh, those things that create happiness. And then once we have the happiness, we want to live longer and then healthier. So in this way, actually, we try a way uh, to prolong our life, and maybe we do this not because the responsibility to carry the gene, but we for our own uh, purpose. Yeah, but when we do this, actually, we are also doing in a way to make the gene exist longer.
Immortal, immortal doesn't mean that you won't die, right?
Um,
Can you survive without oxygen? Maybe you can survive without food, without water, but can you
yeah,
survive without oxygen? But
yeah, but,
can you survive without a physical place, the Earth, the planet? If
mm,
let's say the sun, for example, like the sun,
yeah,
have something wrong, and then yeah, everything in the Earth, all the living thing in the Earth cannot survive. Yeah,
yeah,
all become the ice. Yeah, let's say the sun have some problems, or maybe the sun become too hot. Yeah,
yeah,
and then in the planet we are burning. Yeah, and then uh so what uh the thing you pursuing, the immortal, yeah, is not that immortal as you imagine. Or maybe you want to leave the earth and go to other planet to live, and then you want to like keep the human, keep the
mm,
culture survive.
yeah,
Yeah, that there is nothing with genes. Yeah, and for gene, uh, okay, it may the objective may align with the gene,
yeah,
may align with the gene, but gene uh don't need that. They really don't need that. Yeah, because gene have the most simple way to make itself survive, keep exist, is ask you to reproduce. Yeah,
yeah,
this is the easiest way, and this is something they already caught into your DNA. Yeah, they just ask you to reproduce, so the gene is already immortal. They don't rely on you, a specific, species to become immortal. They don't
um,
need that.
but I think because human we are the highest uh intelligent creatures, living things in the world.
Yeah, so
So
why you want to take the responsibility?
It's not a responsibility. It is like the gene try many ways to so that uh, one day if really something happen, as long as a few of the creatures can exist, can survive, then he made it, right? Not necessarily
okay,
human, but human is also one of the things that have the potential to survive.
yeah, it's just one of the things. So why you
Yeah.
keep talking about the human? Why you don't talk about other plants, other animal? Are you aware of this?
Um, yes, yes, because let's say some very very small thing, maybe really they live in the deep water.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, yeah, of course they are, but yeah, because we are human, so I'm talking about human.
Yeah. So if you're talking about human, uh, so we try to link the human to the gene. It
Yeah.
actually doesn't matter. So this means whatever you do, uh, you you can't change the direction of genes. Whatever you do, so yeah, you can do all the thing. You can become immortal, and like other just like what you say, like
Mm.
the cell, the bacteria, the virus, uh,
Yeah.
in the deep water or in the yeah, in any way in the air,
Mm.
they also can survive. Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so uh, if you want to talk about human, you better not talk about the gene. You better talk about like something like the connection, and then how we against with the gene, which is I think is the second half part of the book. Yeah,
Mm.
because the first part of the book is actually explain the gene. Okay,
Yeah.
and the author may explain many things relate to the gene. And when he talk about the gene, it won't like specific talk about human. Yeah.
Mm.
And when you talk about human, because you're human, you're talking about, yeah, why human can become like the most intelligent species, yeah, in the
Mm.
world. It because human have connection. Mm. Yeah, even though the gene, this is something maybe something unexpected. Yeah, but because through the evolution, uh, one of the species, which is human, yeah, you're standing on a high level. You are no longer a human. You're standing a higher level. Let's say you are the god. You are
Yeah.
god. You grow so many, so many animals, so many species, and one of them, eventually have the intelligence. Yeah, have the condition, and you also can think like the Christian,
Yeah.
the Christian, the Adam, and the Howie or some, yeah, Xiaowa, yeah,
Mm.
they eat they eat. I forget already. Is it something like the golden apple or something like the apple? So after eat the apple, they gain the intelligence, they gain the
Okay.
wisdom. Yeah, and then uh this is a story. This is something like the 神话学,
Mm.
神学. Okay, yeah. So this is something similar like that. Mm. So when you talk about genes, don't talk about a specific species. When you talk about human and when you talk about other animals, yeah, why they failed, why they become so successful. So for example, like the dog, like the
Mm.
cat, yeah,
Yeah.
why they become so successful, why some certain plant, for example, like the corn, and also like the uh what is it called, the rice, yeah,
Mm.
the origin of rice, why
Yeah.
it became so successful, because they allow human to eat.
Mm. So we need them.
Mm. And cat and dog, uh uh yeah, they hardly survive in these planets because they are so weak. But
Mm.
they can rely on humans. Mm.
Yeah.
They create some value to humans, and then they can survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they have to. but it doesn't mean that they work for human. Okay, if today human is not the most intelligent species, and we got another species, and maybe the dog, the cat, work for them. For example, like in the we also know they have some like the mutual benefit
Mm.
in for example like the tree and also like the one of the bird
Yeah.
which can uh eat the worm, eat the worm in the tree, which is the 啄木鸟. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
also the mutual benefit, or maybe uh like in the sea. Okay, for example like the
Mm.
shark and also some other small fish. Mm, they will go inside the shark mouth and then eat eat the 残渣, yeah, eat
Mm.
the food, yeah, the remaining food uh that stick with
Yeah.
that stick on the shark uh
Yeah.
teeth, yeah.
Also
Those
for the
shark,
crocodile, right? Some birds will go inside
mm,
the mouth to eat the
yeah,
food inside the teeth.
and also like in this case the shark and also like the crocodiles won't eat them. Yeah, they'll open their mouth and allow them to do that.
Mm.
They also will take care of them, because they know it is good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's similar. Yeah, it's similar, and this is something like the mutual benefit. So it doesn't exist in human.
Mm.
So if you want to talk about human, or you want to talk about a specific animal, you better talk about why, for example, uh, why they can survive, why they still exist. Yeah, by using this perspective, this gene perspective. Yeah, this you can think like this is one of the perspective for you to think, uh, for you to have the thinking. This is one of the perspective, like the mathematics, like the psychology, mm, the
Yeah.
economics, all that. This is one of the perspective. Mm. Yeah. Okay. But I'm not sure what is the main point you want to say because I keep correcting you. So you actually
Mm.
talking about like human is pursuing immortal, and then we do this, and the gene will also benefits. Is it something
Yeah.
like this? Yeah,
Um.
of course, gene will benefit, but gene don't need that. Yeah. So this is my response. Yeah, because gene don't need that. Mm. You do this can help gene, but gene don't necessarily expect you to do that. Because
Yeah.
there are so many bodies, so many 载体, animal, plants, humans, and each individual.
Yeah.
And also human pursue the immortal is not because of gene, it's because of their species. It's because of they want to keep the culture. uh, what is it called? The traditions or the human tradition or human culture. What is it called? The 文化传承. Yeah, yeah. For example,
Mm.
human. Yeah. Uh, if you talk to if you talk to any any human, yeah, or maybe not every humans. If you talk to somebody, yeah, if one day human disappear,
Yeah.
human disappear, will you think this is a good thing? They of course will say no,
Yeah.
because this also means that they will die. Mm,
Mm.
yeah. But if you ask like other animals, other plants, if they can talk to you, yeah. If human disappear, is it a good thing? They'll say yes. Yeah, maybe they'll say yes.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Yeah, and also, so don't be too overconfident. maybe your existence is actually bad for the environment and also bad for other creatures to keep survive, to keep reproduce. So maybe your doing is actually against with the gene, it's not aligned with the gene. We need variety. We don't need maybe the gene want the variety. They don't want like put all the eggs into a same into one basket. Yeah, because humans have intelligence, but they may also fight with each other. Yeah, even though you're immortal, but it doesn't mean that you can survive in long term. You still have limited resources. You don't have unlimited resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also maybe you suicide because this is the life is too broad. So they have many possibilities that human can be disappear. Yeah, it can be come from internal, it can be come from external factor. So that by standing of gene perspective, they don't want this happen. They don't want you. For example, you kill all the animal, you kill all the plant, and you can become immortal. You become the god.
Yeah.
Is it good for gene?
No.
Maybe no. This is not good for gene. By standing on the of the gene perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it means that higher risk. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I really agree with what you said, and also in my view of point, I think my view of point was too narrow, and I didn't think about so much, and also I put too much focus on this specific species human. Yeah, and really standing from the gene view of point, variety, yeah, is better than putting all the expectation on human. Yeah. Yep. And then yeah, also one thing I found it quite interesting. Also, but this one also narrowed down to this specific species, which is human. And yeah, it seems like because many things that we do actually have the it's something like we do it, and then we will get the pleasure or the happiness. It is like the reward system to our brain. Yeah. So um I think also this is how the gene uh, uh, this is also the purpose of the gene, because we will pursue the reward, and then so that human will do the things like to reproduce, but also at the same time, because we have the brain, and then many aspect we actually do something to go against the gene instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So uh, I'm not sure whether human is yeah, I think it is, because it is mentioned in the book, right? Human is the only living thing that can have the awareness, also the ability to go against uh, the gene instruction. Yeah. Right. So I have finished my sharing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all for our today conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversations. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocab or grammar mistakes that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.